Okay. So here's our results slide. And we'll go back there and we'll launch TurningPoint slideshow. Uh-oh, I'm the next person that's not able to do it. Okay, let's go over here. Yeah, but it won't. It's on my little computer over here now. So what I want to do is get it back up. And I don't understand what we're doing here. So let's do that. I'll be right with you. Hold on 1 second. Slideshow. It's weird. It won't let you set up the show when you're in the middle of a show, and I have to put it back to secondary monitor. Unless you, there we go. Okay? All right. So the other thing, too, is that if you had a lot of attributes, let's say I had 10 on here, you might find your bubbles are all on top of each other. I think it's like the F4 key. It shows only 3 bubbles at a time, the next 3, the next 3, the next 3. Hit the F6 key and all the bubbles come back up. Obviously, you can move all the data right into an Excel workbook where you can do further analysis. You know, maybe not everybody wants to see the pretty PowerPoint, except for when you go in front of the, you know, the deans or whoever that you have to convince that this is really a good idea. So was there a question? Good? All right. So we'll go ahead and keep moving. 2 simple applications. I'm not sure if has anybody in the room heard of Forest Enterprises. They're a multi-billion-dollar-a-year real estate organization. They build high-rises, malls, urban sprawling developments. I mean, this is a very large organization, headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio. 2 key points from these folks who use TurningPoint on a regular basis internally. They also use it during their professional education for certification for accounting and real estate and a bunch of other things. But they also use it for town hall meetings. They use it for project team meetings. They use it for decision making. You name it. They have people that are, it's just expected that you're building consensus and moving along that way. So this particular example was a small project team decision. I think there were 6 people on this team. Course correction, save money and time is the takeaway. Where if you want to read more about this, you can go to our website and look for the Forest City case study, where they talk a lot about the details of the application and the discovery on how to use this on something other than training. Use it in decision making. And they will talk to you and tell you about a half a dozen decisions that were changed that they normally would have kept going forward with the project, but through the discovery process and through the voting process and the data collection process, somebody was able to see how 5 different groups of people were thinking that normally would never be in the same room and look at the data and say, you know what, we're probably about ready to make a bad decision. We need to go back and rethink some of this. And they will tell you about the projects that they relate that to. So the thing that's interesting is that it's not just about the data in this room, but if I have the right kind of tool that can help me collect data internally to make decisions, I could go out and meet with this group, that group, this group, that group, and collectively merge all the data together and see what the trend is overall. Big stuff. It's very hard to do, I think you'd admit, if I don't have the right tool, because now it's an administrative nightmare. How do I get all this done before Friday at 5, right, when somebody needs to know? Second example, this is an architectural firm, and they're about a 120-man architectural firm who's developed a methodology called the Schoolhouse of Quality. And what they build are high schools. And they have developed a methodology that requires them to go into a community, talk to the students that are currently in the high school, the existing one. Now they're getting ready to tear it down and build another one or whatever. They talk to the graduating class. What would you know, this is going to be built the year you're going to graduate. You will be the first graduating class. You know, so they talk to 600 kids at one time or more. They talk to they have at least 2 community events where anyone, it's put in the paper, anyone can come from the community to evaluate the future designs of the high school and how the money is going to be spent. They talk to the teachers about the future of the high school. And they're asking questions throughout this methodology that used to be done via bubble sheet. They will show 3 pictures of a school, schools they've designed. Do you like architectural design A, B, or C? Right? Audience votes, they pick A. Right? Then they say, you only have so much money to spend on the exterior of the building. You have $120,000 for the sign out front that tells, would you like the sign to look like A, B, or C? You only have so much money for so many labs. You only have so much money for this, right? They do things with the teachers about what are the biggest issues you have. Well, the mobile wireless card is 3 blocks away from my classroom, kind of a thing. So I never use it because I can't wheel it up 4 flights of stairs and into the room, So they get and they build consensus. They used to do this all through bubble sheets and then take about a month to tabulate the results. During that month of tabulating the results, you could only imagine the suspicion that someone might have that the architectural firm was kind of reading the results in a way to make the project go what they thought was the best way for the district or whatever it was, right? So after they would overcome that criticism and the lapse of time, they would have to go back and really reconfirm their loyalty to make good decisions. Now what they do is they make the decisions, and the people in the audience see the results instantaneously of what is going to happen with this particular project. So their 2 key points are data collection from several audiences of over 100 to build consensus in minutes, literally minutes versus months of time. They will go in and they will start in the morning. They will have the 6th graders, the seniors, then the parents, then the teachers, all in one day, and in the morning, the next day, present results. That fast. It's just phenomenal. They will also talk about dramatic reduction in administrative time to tabulate results and executive review of outcomes. They will talk about the reduction of man hours and cycles and budget dollars saved that did not need to be allocated to administrative type activities because they were able to take a large-scale methodology and break it down like that. Okay? Summary slide, and we're wrapping up here. So, use slide on the fly to facilitate idea generation and idea selection. That was at the very beginning where I went up to the toolbar, just grabbed it, plopped it right into the presentation. Improve the quality of and speed at which decisions are made. Once you get really familiar with how to use this and your teams get really familiar with how to participate, you can just be snapping right through. You can spend your time on analyzing data versus making decisions, right? You can spend your time on improving and recognizing trends rather than managing through issues and problems with people and agendas and things like that. Drastically reduce post-meeting and administrative time, results, and reporting. This is a big thing. People ask you to go out and gather opinions and find out what's going on. If you can do it quickly, you're positioned personally to over-deliver and give people above and beyond what they would have expected in the way of feedback from the student population, the faculty, the parents, whoever's here. This is an interesting thing, is that recently I had the opportunity, my son is now a freshman in college, and so we recently went through the whole evaluation of all the colleges, right? I went to, I don't know how many parent-child, future freshmen, 2,000 people in the room, 500 people in the room, whatever it was. Every single one I went to, they always asked questions of the parents and the students sitting in the room. Unfortunately, none of them were using TurningPoint. Or I don't care, any audience response system, right? Because all I kept thinking of was, man, think about how much they could fine-tune this program to win more students in enrollment and convince me as a parent that this was the right school, I think there's going to be a day where the parent looks at the school and says, if they don't have student response, Johnny, pick a different school. I want to know that you're participating every lecture you go to, right? It's a big investment. And I think that day will come sooner rather than later, where parents are expecting and students are expecting it to be there. But it's helping me gather data to reduce administrative costs and of having insights like that to gather the data to know what to do with it.